Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in Frederick, Colorado. My name's Taylor, and today we're going to be going over a used 2025 Winnebago Solis PX. So I'm pretty excited to be going over this with you guys. The new pop-top mechanism is going to be the main focus of this, just because that's one of the biggest changes in my preference, along with the AC being a little bit the lower mounted AC. But let's go ahead and take a walk on the outside first, and then we'll pop on the inside. I'll demonstrate how to use that new pop-top and the new few things that kind of pop out to me, and we'll go and finish up from there. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get on into it. All right, sliding over here to our wheels and rims, and right over here to our running board with a nice little clip. So it's pretty, if you're familiar with the Solis, same running board here, same wheels and tires. And then you have the bigger truck mirrors up here with the blinker built in on the inside. And we have our outdoor light, the pop-top mechanism, as you can see on the top. And then we have our sliding window here, so you can open that up to get a nice little fresh breeze. So very simple. Another window right over here as well. And then our little Solis logo. And as we slide onto the rear, we have the Coleman Mac AC. And I'll go ahead and open up the doors here. Get a full view of the inside. You have your nice little bug screen that is a zipper, as well as Velcro on the side, so if you did just want to rip it off and take it off completely, you could do that. And then we have our water fill over here, and you have an outdoor shower. If you guys are familiar again with the PX gets you a generator as well as 2 more feet of garage space back here, so you can tie down any bikes. And then you do have some charging here, and you have this Zamp solar prep right here. So if you wanted to get extra solar panels, you can go ahead and plug it in here and get it propped up into some direct sunlight to kind of help your charge for when you're boondocking. And then I'll go ahead and open up this storage compartment just because it's a little bit easier to see from the outside. But you do have some hidden storage here, and this is where our 30 amp shore power cord is. But it's kind of nice to have all of the storage capable. And then you do have some storage under here, and then you have the little space heater in there as well. But pretty big storage compartments. And then as you can see on this side, you do have those bungee cords for some additional storage. And as far as the garage space, you have the tie downs down here with 2 clips, one in the middle, and then you also have one up there. So if you wanted to prop them upright and kind of have them fastened down against the wall, you could do that, so you still have more storage, or you can just lay them, long ways here and tie them down. But I love the versatility that you have in that garage space. Another cool feature on the Solis, if you wanted to kind of get a little shower curtain going for that exterior shower, you could just go ahead and prop your doors. Grab this little pole here, and you're going to connect it. Fasten it completely, of course, and you have a little pin here. So if it's really windy too and you don't want your doors flopping around, because that definitely does happen, this is a nice little bar too to kind of clip in, and it'll keep them nice and fixed for you. And then of course this is where you can kind of throw a shower curtain over to give yourself a little bit of privacy. All right. Alrighty, as far as the rest of the exterior, you have a beautiful backup camera, and then you have a hitch here that is 3,500 towing capacity, and then you have a just 350 pounds of vertical weight. And then you have the pre-wire already for your braking. If you wanted to hook up a trailer, you're already pre-wired for the brakes on that trailer. Alrighty, sliding over here, this is our exhaust for that generator. So you have a 2,080 watt gas generator. You can't really see it, but it is tucked away under there. And then you just have another spot where you can hold your little dump slinky if you wanted. Right over here is our charging for our 30 amp shore power cord, and it does have the GLN, which will glow green when you know you have a healthy charge. Right over here is our cassette toilet. Go ahead and just pull it out. It does have a little bit of winterizer in there. But these are super cool just because they're nice and plastic. They have wheels on it. It's about 5 gallons per se. Probably don't want to fill it up to the tippy top, but you can go ahead and connect a hose to it to dump at a dump station. And then you have a nice little override valve here to kind of make the flow a little faster. And then you don't ever have to worry about having to manually open it. Once you slide that in, it'll automatically slide this shelf, so it's always in use as long as this is in here. There we go. Nice and insulated. And then you have your Truma exhaust there, because this one has a Truma Combi Eco heating system in it. This is our exhaust just for that chassis. And then as we get into our driver's side here is our fuel. Since it's on a Ram, it is a gasoline. And then we have the nice leather seats here. They're all going to be manual as far as the reclining and configuration here. And then, sorry, I'll slide on over. We have our parking brake here, and then you do have a nice little battery boost. And then go ahead and talk about the chassis over there. There we go. Perfect. Let's get it unhooked. I do have the chassis running just because I have the heater on. It's a little cold today. There we go. It's always awkward getting it in there. Alrighty, but this is on the Ram Promaster. It's the 280 horsepower, 3.6 liter V6 gas engine, and it's the 9-speed automatic transmission, 180 amp alternator. But as you can see, it's not really high, it's a little bit lower. Everything's within hand's reach and accessible to see. You have your engine oil fill right here in the dipstick. Your washer fluid, which is in a great position here, honestly, kind of putting a whole big jug in here makes it a little easier to kind of put in there. And then we just have our coolant and everything on this side, but not too much to it. The Ram Promasters, I haven't had any negative feedback from any of my customers. It's very low maintenance, easy to get serviced. And so forth. But now that we kind of did a little wrap around the outside, let's go ahead and work our way on the inside. And that's when I'll go ahead and demonstrate this pop top. Before I completely pop it up, I just wanted to point out the few things that are a little different now. All right, first and foremost, you have a little bit more of a heavier duty, I would say stable ladder that does, still goes into 2 pieces. But right off the bat, you have a little bit more of a heavier duty latch system here. So when you're pulling it down, it makes it a little nicer. You don't have to go and grab these handles up here while you're on the ladder. So it kind of felt a little goofy before. And then you also have this, because you won't really be able to see it when I pop it up. A big problem, in 2024 and down, is if you didn't properly roll in this fabric here, it would get pinched and then you get a hole in it. So Winnebago kind of went ahead and put a string all the way around. So you just go ahead and pull this in, whoops, and not hit yourself. But you use this and you pull it all in while you're pulling it down, and it kind of grabs all that fabric and keeps it from pinching itself, which I absolutely love. And then they have a whole new latch mechanism, which I will show you over here. It might be a little easier. But as you can see, it has a lock right here. So you go ahead and unlatch it, and I'll unlatch this side, as well as a seat belt. Let's see, okay, it wasn't clipped. Sorry, I was kind of messing with it earlier and I forgot to re-clip it here. But you do have a nice little seat belt latch as well for another safety override here. So let's go ahead and completely unlatch it. And the seat belt is on either side. As you can see, this is where it latches onto the roof, and then it goes in here as far as latching it on. And then instead of these kind of, laying here, you can clip it on to itself right back here. Sorry if that was awkward to see, but it's kind of nice having a place to stow it away. All right, everything is unlatched. Just double checking here. We're good. And now we can go ahead and give it its first push. It automatically kind of does the work for you. And then I just like to slowly climb up the ladder and help it up a little bit. Woo. Alrighty. Sorry, I know it's a weird angle, but this fabric seems a little bit more heavy duty. You still have the same windows, but all 3 of the windows are open, so you don't just have that one window that kind of gives breeze, and it's just the other ones were clear. So I love how all three will give you access to some nice breeze. This is that little mechanism I was telling you about, where when you're trying to put it away, you just pull these and it'll automatically grab all the fabric completely around. And then you have these latches that are up here on the roof to kind of latch them down on this mechanism here, which is just a little bit more beefier, and it has a lock in itself as well to make sure that it's completely latched down, and then those seat belts. But other than that, we do have this last little thing. So if it is super windy and you have this open, it kind of has like the same little tent guidelines here where you can go ahead and prop it up, which is kind of cool to make it a little bit more sturdy and stable. No one likes sleeping in a tent when it's super windy because it's just flapping all night long and that's all you hear. I mean, in my personal experience, that always happens. So I like how you have that option as well. All right, and then of course you still have the charging up here as well. So if you wanted to charge any electronics, you can. All right, I'll just throw these up here. Somewhat try to get them out of the way without completely taking them off here. All right, we're just gonna leave it. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go all the way to the rear of the van here. So now that the doors are closed, we do have these little blackout screens too, to give yourself a little bit more privacy. And it is something that you can completely take off as well since it's Velcroed. But I'm just gonna go ahead and close these up to kind of help with the lighting in here. But the reason why I like the PX, not only for the garage space, is it kind of gives you another option to kind of roll out of bed. You don't have to go this way, and it's not right up. Oops, wrong latch. I guess I'll just demonstrate this before I bring it down. Here's another table for you. So if you wanted to go ahead and prop up one of your camp chairs to put right here, and then you can go ahead and have a meal, play some cards, or just have another option for a little desk area. There we go. And this is just a nice little manual latch here, so it's super easy and simple. You just pull it all the way out and then you can lay it flat there. But back to what I was talking about as far as the garage space, not being completely closed up to that door, which, you know, during the winter or even summer, it kind of gets hot or cold. You kind of give yourself a little bit of space so it's not directly up against that door. Then it gives you the option to roll off either side. But pretty comfy bed, and you have a huge cabinet right above the bed on either side. This one's just going to be a little bit longer because that other one is kind of cut in half. There you go. And then you have the Coleman Mac AC unit here, where you can go ahead and adjust everything from the bed, which is kind of nice. And then the window on either side where you can get some nice cross breeze. All right, I'll go ahead and pull this up so I'm not trapped. And relatch it. There we go, perfect. Now I already showed you all the storage in here, but you do have a nice little drawer as well, directly underneath the bed. And then below that is just kind of your little breakers and fuses. Right over here is where you'll have your pump, and then you can turn on your normal water or the preheat. Right next to your sink, you have 2 USBs and then 2 other charging outlets, as well as a nice little bin here to put all your sponges, soap, anything kitchen related or not. And then you have 2 more cabinets inside here. This one does have a little universal shelf that you can kind of put in here. It's a little smaller, so it's not the full length, but you could just go ahead and slide it in there if you wanted to make it like a little spice rack or anything. And I honestly had it backwards because there we go. So you have that option to readjust all the shelving in there. And then you have plenty of counter space, with this being this nice little glass cover for your 2-burner propane Suburban. So when it's not in use, it has additional space for that counter. Since we are talking about additional counter space, sweet, that's already unlatched. It's just a cool little gadget here to kind of extend that counter space. So if you are prepping for dinner, cutting things up, and then kind of getting it all ready, you have this option too, which does lock, so you don't have to worry about it sliding out while you're going down the road. And some more cabinet space underneath that sink in addition to that drawer. Alrighty. And directly across from that kitchen area, Sorry, the magnets are pretty strong, so you always feel like you're gonna rip it off the hinges, but as long as it's unlatched and kind of showing some give here, you're good. So here is our shower, bathroom, and then also wardrobe. So it's kind of a nice little 3-in-1 wet bath here. The toilet is kind of on a swivel, so if you wanted to use it while you can close the door as well to give yourself some more privacy, or you wanted to use it while it's open because no one else is in the van, so you don't have to feel nice and confined, you have the option to do both. And then you also have a nice little outlet here for some heat. So if you are showering when it's super cold, you do have the little heat right there. Here is your shower curtain that you'll just button up here, and then you do have a nice little light. And then you have a nice spot to kind of put some toilet paper so it stays nice and dry. And then just your little shower head here that you can keep propped up or you can take off. It is all plastic, and then you have the on. Wow, wouldn't that be terrible if I just switched this over and it shot you with water? I don't know why, because the winterizer, it made me think it might have happened. Anyways, that's kind of cool having it stowed in that little corner there and having the flexibility to take it off. And then, of course, you need a mirror somewhere when you are getting ready. So you have a nice little mirror here to get ready in. All right, this little Winnebago W here is kind of used as a little hook for a jacket or a little hanging rod, and then this is just the light for that the inside of the bathroom. As we slide forward over here, you have the reason why the Solis is so popular is just because this used to be the only van where you can get 2 3-way point seat belts along with anchors, so it was very family friendly, especially with that pop top. But now with the Revel, you kind of have that option as well, and other vans. But it still is one of the only ones that has the option for a pop top. You have your swivel oval shaped table there that you can completely stow away behind the seats here. So if you wanted to give yourself a little bit more room and you don't need the table, as well as taking away this little ladder here to make it nice and open, you have the option to do that as well. I'm just going to unhook the ladder and move it over here really quick just so I can show you guys, if I can. There we go. It's a little all over the place today. My apologies, but I wanted to show you this cool little secret hiding spot that you can completely take off. It doesn't lock or anything. That'd be really cool if it did. We'll have to get Winnebago on that. But it'd be pretty cool to lock it up. If not, it's kind of an out of sight, out of mind type of thing. So you can put, you know, your maybe like a first aid kit or any of those necessities that you only need in a pinch. You can put it right there. And then this is just the table that completely comes apart. Normally the leg sticks to it, so I'm happy it didn't. Just so you can kind of get a visual of how much space you'll have when you don't have the table stowed away right there. I awkwardly put my ladder in the wrong spot to put that away completely, but gives me room to kind of show you the control panel over here. So you have your just little Winnebago control panel, so you can see when your water pump is on, your tank capacities, as well as your battery, and then your LPG battery in gray, as well as the water pump turning on and off. And then you have your generator start and stop here as well. This is just going to be your Truma, so you can go ahead and set your temperatures for your heat and fan, and then you can also set a certain time that you want it to turn on and off. And this is super cool during winter. You just go ahead and flick that on, and it kind of just heats that water tank for you. Here is your solar panel. So as you can tell, we have a pretty healthy charge. It said 14.4, I believe. And then it shows the voltage coming in from the solar, and then you can also have an override of turning your LP tank off as well. And then here is another spot for some storage, and we have our Winnebago handy dandy notebook inside there. Both of these chairs do swivel, so that's kind of awesome as well. If you have this table out, you can go ahead and seat 3 here, swivel this out, and you can kind of, you know, figure it out as far as eating situation, but you can comfortably sit up to 4 people to eat. Another thing here for storage, which is pretty substantial, and then you just have your window covers here that we kind of just keep since it's a little bit closer to that front windshield, but you don't have to keep them there if you wanted to, you know, store your stuff up in there a little bit better. And then go ahead and buckle that up. Sweet. Now I will go ahead and jump up front here. Nothing's really changed as far as the Ram per se, but you do have the push starts. You have your LED dash up here, so you can see everything is highlighting red. We have our back doors are still ajar. so I didn't close them hard enough. And then we have our sliding door right over here as well. And then as we come over here, we just have our touchscreen. Down below here, we just have the volume, mute, turning your screen on and off, and then your tuner, our heating and cooling, our hazard lights, locking the doors, and then for turning off all the car configurations and your parking for the whole beeper. And then you have some other charging here and USBs with some additional storage. Our wireless charger for your phone, and then a total of 3 cup holders there. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for our used 2025. I forgot about the fridge. I'm so sorry. Here you have your 12-volt compressor driven fridge. So that will charge while you're going down the road, so you don't have to worry about anything getting getting hot. My apologies. And then you have your coach battery shut off here, some more charging, and then some lights. But now that I just lost my name tag, I'll just hold it up for you. My name's Taylor, but if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns on this unit or any other Winnebago, I'd be happy to help you guys out. But again, this is a 2025 Winnebago Solis PX. It is used and it has just over 2,000 miles on it. So if you guys are interested in knowing pricing or getting pricing, go ahead and reach me at the contact information below, which is 970-388-7937. Thanks again. Have a great day.